Krzysztof Wodizko was born in Poland in 1943. He attended the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw, where he began experimenting with sound performance and received a Master's of Fine Arts in Industrial Design in 1967. Wodizko's work quickly began to incorporate political content. In 1969, he collaborated with two other Polish artists, designing a proposal for a memorial to the victims of the Majdanek concentration camp. To this day, Wodizko's work has remained political, focusing on topics such as the disenfranchisement of immigrant populations, the neglect of the homeless, and veterans and the psychological damage inflicted by war. His work is frequently classified into three categories: instruments, vehicles, and projections. Wodizko's interactive 1992 piece, Alien Staff, allowed for strangers to interact with members of the immigrant or alien community. Giving a voice to the voiceless, the communication that took place through monitors mounted on top of a shepherd's rod allowed for urban residents to explore the challenges immigrants faced in their community. Evolving from his Alien Staff, Wodizko's The Mouthpiece replaced a stranger's mouth with a screen that played the image of an immigrant's mouth, broadcasting a pre-recorded speech in the immigrant's own voice. From 1987 to 1989, Wodizko worked on his homeless vehicle project. Homeless citizens were given capsule-like carts that would function primarily as mobile sleeping quarters. The visibility of the vehicles called to attention the problems faced by the homeless, and casted the homeless as actors of sorts in a performance art piece that would allow their voices to be heard. In 1991, Wodizko created Police Car, which, as he described, was an attempt to provide a network of media equipment to the marginalized strata of the urban population. Police Car was a vehicle that could provide aid for all sorts of everyday needs, including first aid, video and radio communication equipment. In 1984, as a political statement regarding the influence of corporate power upon the United States government, 3 days before the presidential election, Wodizko projected Ronald Reagan's hands onto the AT&T Long Wires building in New York City's financial district. Wodizko's work is often politically charged and full of bold statements, as seen in the well-known 1985 piece Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square, London. At the time, the South African government was petitioning the British government for financial support, and in this piece, Wodizko projects a swastika on the face of the South Africa House. Wodizko had an interest in addressing the voices of the marginalized in the Tijuana projection in 2000. Women working in the maquiladora industry of Mexico wore media technology designed to project their faces onto El Centro Cultural as they told their emotional stories of abuse and workplace discrimination in real time. In his 2009 piece, Out of Here, The Veterans Project, Wodizko had this to say: "Only those who went through this experience of war can understand what really happens in this situation. But at least perhaps through the exhibition we come to understand how little we understand." His exhibit filled an empty museum gallery with recorded voices and explosions, along with flashes of light simulating the experience of mortar attack in Iraq. In the Abraham Lincoln War Veteran projection, Wodizko spoke with 14 war veterans and their family members to explore the traumatic consequences of war, including difficult transition to civilian life, loss, and guilt. Their narrative was projected on the statue of Abraham Lincoln in Union Square Park. Wodizko found art as essential in confronting conflict. This can be seen especially in the 2008 Veteran Vehicle Project. It illustrates the complexity of social reintegration for returning soldiers through the projections of their realities and recordings of their testimonies. Here is a video recording from this projection.
I dropped out of school and eventually got a divorce. Then spent the next 15 years struggling with whole depression and tremendous pain in my body while denying that I'm an armed services veteran. We the people have abandoned their government by not holding it accountable.
I'm a veteran. I was willing to give my life fighting for what's supposedly a good cause, and everyone's trying to figure out what that cause is. There's a lot of homeless veterans out there. You know, stressing. I mean, traumatized. I mean, they're pissed off at this country. We're all hard-headed. The ones that aren't giving in, the tougher ones. Living day by day out there, just like out in Iraq or in Vietnam or in Korea.
The first step to me in solving the problems of veterans is not making so damn many of them.
Nikolai, I miss you so much. I hope you know that I'm not mad at you, and that